Hello and welcome to a solo stream. I'm Zoma for NHL94online.com. I didn't stream last week. Trying to sort everything out again. My monitors are all, for some reason, it reset where they were. So things are a little bit disorganized. We're going to be streaming in the first hour, Sega games, and in the second hour, it'll be Super Nintendo games. We're going to have Halifax joining us at about 10 p.m. Eastern Time, so in about an hour. But the first game is going to be Kids Wasted against Tess, and they're in the Summer Salary Cap League, Season 1. They are the rookie finals. So it's really haven't looked into it too much, but I saw people playing like 160 games. I didn't really understand the schedule. I think you just played as much as you could. So let me, I don't think Pokemon's we're watching. Find that, and actually we'll start the emulator as well. So we'll connect to them. Just make sure I put the right ROM. I think it's this one. Just find their game. Get the password set up so I can show it until I join the game. Alright, I'm in the game. Slide browser. Let's find out who was on their teams. Okay, better one. Switch the bracket. They're going to wait 5 minutes before they start, so that'll give me a moment to check the statistics, figure out who they are in the league. Salary cap. There we go. Salary cap. We're going to see games here between Tess Wasted, so they're in different conferences. Kids Wasted earlier was saying he thinks he's going to get stomped. I don't know if he used that word, but definite difference in points percentage. 100, 153 against 544. Get the rosters up here because these are salary cap teams, so they're all different. It's quite what you might have expected. Okay, they are ready to play. I'm just going to set up the team names that you see. So Tess is going to be home. It's Edmonton. Finals, the away team is Boston. Kids Wasted. I think he's definitely a Bruins fan, so I assume he's from Boston. figured. See some chat here. So Dangler's asking, are Bob Kadelsky and confirmed for 10? So they're actually playing right now, and they are going to they're going to try to record. And so if that goes successfully, they get the files, they upload them. Flax and I will commentate that at about 10. Let's get wasted with the early phase of playing. So he's got Camulate Center. As mentioned, he's a big Boston fan. Managed to get Cam Neely in the salary cap. So yeah, this is a salary cap league. It wasn't a draft league. Those players were assigned certain dollar values. Good manual goaltending there. Oh well. And you trace the player across the net. Tess, heads up play, and some goaling. So, oops. Thanks. Which is, I do that once every stream. I forgot to switch it. So you missed the nice the goal there. Kids wasted. Trying to muscle him into Tess. I think Tess might have been a player from the social distancing tournament. Nice goal there. Dino Cicerelli, one of the best shots in the game. It's actually the same shot as Jeremy Roenick. It's 90 power, 90 accuracy. So we just got the goalie moving one way, a hard shot the other way. Here he is again. So you can see. For a moment I thought it hit the glass. Yeah, it's a good move there. If you got Cicerelli in that kind of position, just take a big shot. Oh, he had the open net. The goalie was down, but he got checked. Here is Cicerelli again. He just slides it through. Tess was mentioning earlier that his goalie's been really bad, and there, that just went right through him, like right under his foot. His goalie is Tom Barrasso, who should be a pretty good goalie. But yeah, that was a weak goal. It's number 4 here. 4 is Scott Stevens. One thing I didn't check is whether or not this is a the goalie. Just moving out of the way. I can check if this is a weight bug fixed league. Does anyone know? Is anyone in the salary cap league? Is the weight bug fixed? So, if you don't know, in the Sega Genesis version of the game, it just went right through the goalie. I think for Edmonton, pretty quick here in the first period. On the Sega version of the game, the lighter player that's actually makes him better at checking and better at resisting checks. But with Cicerelli's at center for Tess, so my guess is this is not a weight bug fix. Yeah, there's a hack to fix that bug so that heavier players can check. I'm guessing that isn't implemented in this league. Nothing after the first period. Kids wasted feelings that Tess might dominate this. Looking pretty accurate so far. A dive save. One of my favorite plays. So Cicerelli, you could see he was lining up to do another far side shot, but lost the puck. Here comes Kid Wasted into the corner. And oh, just a little too early on that one-timer attempt. No one was actually there for it. A little bit more patience to help with that. So 10 for the Oilers is Tikkanen. Cicerelli tries to go with the left wing, like it's blocked. 14. And we got a goal. It's Jeff Courtnall. So Courtnall is actually the leading scorer for Bruins this season in this league. Stolen by Glenn Wesley, an actual Boston player. Ooh, almost carried under his own net. So aggressive goalie control by Kids Wasted. It's not really working out for him. Tess, I think, I mean, these are good. He's putting the goalie in the right place, but I think Tess is aware of it. And, oh, got a little bit of a lockup here. Let's see if it rejoins. Okay, it's still going. I think looks good. Let's cross. It's Fedorov. He just comes across and scores. 6-2. Kidswasted getting up or 5-0. Don't know if Tess is setting up with it. Kidswasted is figuring things out. I guess we'll find out in game 2. So there has been there's goalie control. And it's back in. So okay, the rosters. These ones are switched up. So for Edmonton, top scorer is Dino Sisterelli at center. Denny Savard is number 18. And Esatikin is number 10. On defense, he's got Gary Suter and Scott Stevens. And his goalie is Wendell Young. So, not a good goalie, but if you use goalie control, Wendell Young is actually, he's okay, because he's a light player, I think. And, yeah, if you have good goalie control, you don't really need a great goalie. And on Boston, so this is Jeff Courtnall, a 90 speed, 90 agility player. So it's Cam Neely, number 8, and 91 is Sergei Fedorov. On defense, he's got Gary Suter. So they both have Gary Suter. This is a salary cap league, so you can just pick players based on how much they cost and how much money you have available to you, so you can have duplicates. So they both have Gary Suter, and he also has Glenn Wesley. His goal is Tom Grass. So yeah, Tess, I guess, really didn't think a goalie was too important. Wendell Young. It's another goal by Joyce. I'm going to check to see, was Tess in our social distancing tournament? Yes, he was. He went pretty far, but he was eliminated by... Actually, he beat Ice Storm. He lost to Phyllis. Ice Storm is a very good player. So yeah, Tess, rookie, still also, he's got definitely some... he's shown that he's a very good player already. So here is Courtnall, and he gets the deke. So 2 minutes, 51 seconds to get back into this. And I think Kidswasted was also in the tournament, but I think he was on Super Nintendo. Oh, big shot, a good save there. So I'm just checking the social distancing. Yes, so Kidswasted, I guess he's pretty new at playing the Sega version of the game. So, Super Nintendo player. And how far did he get? He didn't get super far in the social distancing tournament, but still playing. So 6 goals for Cicerelli. Just wait 1 minute to replay. It's 8-4. This is game 1, so I'm going to mark Tess as having 1 win. And this is a best of 7. It's game 1. It's really 6 goals, I think it was. Fedorov, 2nd star, Boston. Just realizing my audio from my headphones. It's game 2 here. Off the post to early. You can see he tries to the goalie going one way, goes back the other way with the shot. Easily in. A little too tight to get that kind of fadeaway shot, floater shot. So it kind of makes sense that Kidswasted is aggressive on goalie control. In Super Nintendo, you have the Y button to get instant goalie control. So I think Super players typically play the game with the online leagues with more of a tendency to take control of the goalie. This one time it's up there, Cicerelli from Savard. Savard just goes past him. Yeah, so especially in the Super Nintendo games, you see a lot of one-on-one duels with a player trying to deke out a manual goalie. I don't see that quite as much on the Sega side. It's usually something that people learn later once they started playing, because if you make a few saves with your goalie, you make quite a difference. So, goal there for Neely. I think the goalie in Sega moves a bit slower than the Super Nintendo, so Kidswasted probably trying to still get used to that speed. It's got a 2-on-none here. It's Courtnall. This is off the check. And all these good great shot. Comes in and back in. Scores. Ties at 2-2. There's 3-2 goal. Theory that Kidswasted was just getting used to Tess's playstyle in that first period of last game. Might be true. Okay, so I found out we're not going to have the Bob Pelski King 94. Yeah, they didn't. So Bob Pelski's on Mac, which doesn't support the recording. King 94 wasn't sure how. So yeah, we don't know that, but I think what we do have, I know Dangler is saying the new Super Nintendo League is starting. There's going to be a bunch of games tonight. So I'll start trying to put them in. boys are probably feeling pretty good. I was talking to them earlier, saying hopefully he can steal a few games, because we really didn't expect to. He's in this 3-3. Savard, and nice save. Oh, but he's just puts it wide. He gets out again. Another good save by Barrasso. Period of this game, Game 2. Tess with the Oilers, leading the series 1-0. I the first game, at least another lead here, 4-3. First game was 8-5. Get a 5-0 lead in the first period. Lead here in the third period. Here comes kidswasted back in the way. Oh, stolen. He's got a 3-0. Taken in. Can't make anything happen there. We're chasing this. Oh, it's a one-timer chance, but it goes right into the goalie. Cross, another one-timer. Left here. They're taken down. This is really in. Tries to go backhand. Doesn't work. Better off again. Halfway through the period. Get the puck. Really a little patient. And I think he's going to go backhand again, but lost the puck. Here comes Cam Neely. Can't get the deke to go. Breakaway chance. Here scores. 5-3 for Tess. Patrick Viscerelli. But he doesn't deke it, tries to go across. And it's just really winds up. That's the kind of thing that you really do need to take it away with to just strafe over and block it. So it's 6-3 now. Tess taking over in third. Who plays and Savard in, goes back in. Okay, Halifax is trying to connect here. I was not ready. Gotta get 7-4. I gotta make a window here. Off the top of the net. It's making the let's see. Against camera. Nothing for Tess. I'm still working on remembering how to make a webcam for that. distracted here. 2-0 lead. Tess in game 3. I have to figure out how to on here. Giving Halifax a call. Hear it. 3-1 now.
Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Halifax, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, I've got an issue with my speakers, so I can't really hear you. Let me try to figure this out.
Can you hear me at all?
I can hear you. I have to. It's not coming through here. It's coming through my computer speakers for some reason.
Okay.
So I'm going to. Reconnect headphones. Is that still working? Microphone's still working. It's testing. Testing this. No. Testing.
I'm literally watching the replay and listening to you call me.
Yeah, you take 1 week off and everything falls apart in the computer setup.
The funny thing is, I'm watching the feed. It comes through clearly.
Yeah, it's
So I don't know
okay.
why
I
you
can hear
can't
you
hear
now.
me in
I
your
just turned the
headphones.
volume way up.
Okay.
For some reason, I just get no sound in my headphones. Let's look at it later. Okay, so yeah, this is Kids Wasted as the Bruins against Tess with the Oilers. And this is the salary cap league, season 1. And this is the rookie finals. So they had a little rookie player playoffs. I think, yeah, Kids Wasted had basically a forfeit win in this first round, won in second round, and Tess just had a bye straight to the finals because his record was pretty good.
How much time you got left in the game right now? I just want to know how far I'm behind the feed on my
so
phone.
it's 1:45 right now. Yeah, 1:35.
In a second?
1:30.
Okay. So
Okay. Yeah.
I'm behind about 40 seconds.
So we'll get you in on the
game
Super
time.
Nintendo matchup after this series.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna have a game or not. Because if we can't, then that's okay. Because I know that Schmidt wants to get on. Him and
Are they? I see Schmidt and Zeppelin. Are they in the? Is it a Super Nintendo league? I wasn't even sure.
No.
Oh,
No,
I
it's
thought
Tech.
it was Super Nintendo this whole time. Okay.
I don't think so. Kids Wasted has made it much closer than he did in the first game. I thought the series was going to be a blowout after Tess went up 5-0.
Let me see. Yeah.
Tess is a good player. He's the one that surprised everybody in Sochi. Came out of nowhere. Nobody knew who he was. Pulled off an upset or two. Made it what? I think he made it to the quarters.
Ice Storm. Then he lost to Full House. He beat Lippin, who was, I think Lippin went to the finals of the consolation bracket.
Right. And we had 93 Sega players in that tournament.
Yeah.
I don't know why we couldn't have got 94, but we didn't.
This real NHL 94 league is Super Nintendo.
Right, but isn't Zepp and Schmidt playing?
I prefer to get the Super Nintendo game. Play one of each.
Oh, I see. Well, I don't know if we have anybody for Sega or not, but. Oh, Dangler's saying that him Tick and Ness
that'd be awesome.
Can play at 10. So that's
nice.
Are these guys playing all the best of 7? I mean, it's looking like Tess might actually win in 4 here. Well, us kids can turn it around.
This is drawing by 2 here, 2 minutes to go. 81, who's that? What's that?
This salary cap league, was it they could pick any
that's
player
why you
and they
don't
had like a
see
certain amount of dollars, right?
Roenick, because he cost 100. And there was some other rule, something like your lowest paid player had to be within $35 of your highest player. So, that was a pass shot. That was pretty good. Yeah, exactly. They both have
the same players on,
Gary Suter. So you'll see number 20 or 26 on both teams on defense.
You know, the only memory I have of Gary Suter playing is actually, I think it was from the 90. I'm pretty sure it was him in the 91 World or Canada Cup where he nailed Gretzky from behind him.
He's had quite a few dirty plays.
That's the thing that I know he's been a good player, but that's the only thing I think
of. That is 3-0.
Well, now we got Kids Wasted 1,000 to 1 to come back. So if you want to place your bets, now $10 will get you 10,000, $100 will get you 100,000 on a comeback in the series. Oh, Tess just placed a bid to me in the phone. He's picking $100 for Kids Wasted. So.
So there's Suter scoring for the Boston Ups. Kids Wasted. His version of Gary Suter. And Savard somehow just nice.
Well, the fix is in then.
Savard tries to one-time it, can't reach the puck. So you were saying that Tess takes the lead. You were saying that Dangler and Tickenist.
Yeah.
No, I asked him before if it was
Tickenist.
Ticknest, because he had it in his avatar for his picture split up as Tick with an E and then Nest, but he said no, that's just based on that was just for space reasons. So I was taking us to the most pickin'.
Most of the time, I have no idea how to pronounce it.
Yep.
Just take a guess at someone's gamer tag.
Who do you think is the most confusing name to pronounce?
I still look at everyone. There's still people
I
that
used to
call
think he was
King Raph King Ralph.
Graff.
I do too,
King
actually.
Ralph is pretty good, and King Wrath, like King Wrath as well. W.
Raph. W-R-E-T-H.
I know Seb. I always pronounce it Seb because he's got an extra E on the end, but I'm pretty sure it's Seb because that's his name. Sebi. Okay.
I think it's
sense.
Sebi. I don't know if anyone was paying attention today, but Jay Klein released another ROM for Sega. It is the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League ROM, which is pretty cool. I guess he spent a lot of time on it. That's for Sega, so I'll post a link later on Facebook and
so this was
Twitter.
game
But
4.
I think there was
I can actually bring that up on the stream. So yeah, that's a sweep for that. Oh, not yet. We got more periods. 2 more periods. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah. It's not over yet. Give kids wasted at least some more time.
And there's finally gets that big shot up with Neely.
Anyways, as I was saying about the ROM, for those that are listening, it's a Quebec Major Junior Hockey League for 2020, and so it's got Alex Lafreniere in it. And anybody that's a hockey fan knows that he's the #1 pick this year, or consensus #1 pick, we'll say. So he's likely going to go to the Rangers unless something dramatic happens at the trade deadline or before the draft. When is the draft? The draft is right after
I guess so, yeah.
Playoffs already, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I feel like the playoffs end somewhere around like the second week of October, and then the next season is supposed to start in November. It's like a month later. So there's really not much time in between. So they have to have free agency and they have to have the draft in there. So anyways, if anybody's in the chat and happens to know the answer, please.
So I wonder what Lafreniere is rated in this ROM.
Oh, AJ just posted. He said draft late October, free agency beginning in November. Thanks, bud.
Also, the season is going to start in like December.
I don't even know how they're going to do that. I mean, because they got to make money, and they make money from TV revenue, but they also make a lot of their money from ticket sales. I just don't. I mean, they're not going to fill up the stadiums. I know I've been watching some of the soccer, and there's been some soccer stadiums that have been playing at about like 20 or 30% capacity or something like that. So everybody's wearing a mask and they're socially distanced, so they're making some money. But I don't know what hockey's going to do. I didn't hear anything about the NHL.
You know, in the winter, people are going to get colds. I mean, we're going to have runny noses. Just makes things worse, I would imagine.
So AJ's saying that they could do more bubbles and adjust the schedule. Could help reduce travel costs.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I mean, that they could do that. They probably would have to set up a schedule where you would just play, a bunch of your games against a few teams all at once, kind of like what baseball does with their 3-game sets. I think you'd have to kind of do it that way, and then just finish. Kind of like what we do in Classic League. You play all your games against one player.
I always like to split up my games. Like the first league I ever played in, online. They actually released the schedule like day by day.
Jeez.
Which is
Chronico, if I got that right, or Chronico, is that maybe it's Robert Cron from Hartford. He says probably
Get a
just wear a
visor
hockey
on there.
mask.
Yeah, you're all
Am I
good.
right? Yeah, if you wear a goalie mask, that protects
It's
from coronavirus.
the gaps are too small
So-
for the virus to get through. Oh.
Yeah, the coronavirus can't fit through the mask. It's the size of a hockey puck, so those will work. And I think we're going to be having a sweep here, so this is... what league is this again? Dan, just top right there, you can, probably in small letters, salary cap league, it's the rookie finals. I don't know what rookie finals means because these guys have been playing online for a while.
Like rookies since Sochel.
Oh,
so they're just not like they haven't been playing for years. They're just new guys.
Yeah, no. I mean, because are we really rookies if we've been playing this game for 25 years?
Online is such a different game. So that's why it's surprising when a guy like Tess just comes along and is good right away.
I can't wait to see Tess in a real, like a live tournament, and see how well he do. Because sometimes you can play out well online, and you can play even better in person. AJ kind of does both. He just dominates wherever it is. Oh, and Dan just says, don't know if you saw the message. If you need a filler, I sent you an amazing third-round OHPL series. So I'll let you decide because there's a couple people. It seems like there's a few people that want to kind of hop on the stream here. So
ideally we would get a live Super Nintendo game because just want to have one of each. The other one was Schmidt and Zeppelin, but that would be through the emulator, which you can't connect to. So I think if they have a recorded series, if it's a pretty good series, then I think we could do what we've done before, where we both go and download the game, download the videos, and we can watch them at the same time, commentate them that way. I think that's the easiest thing to do. I mean, we've never had Schmidt and Zeppelin on before, so it would be nice to get them, but I think in terms of getting you some commentating time, I think that'd be more fun.
Well, congratulations to Tess. He sweeps the series here in the Salary Cap League Rookie Finals. We're going to be selling... What do they send him for the winner of this? Is it...
might be nothing.
Oh, okay. I thought it was KFC coupons. Yeah. Hey, Dan, I would love to commentate your series. The problem is I'm on a Mac, and I have some problems connecting to Sega games because it's on a Mac, so it sucks. So I can only connect on the Super Nintendo. Fortunately, that's why I'm... if we can get some Super Nintendo on, I'll do a little bit of that. Oh, I love when they do the... that's the one thing I love about Sega is these extra games that they throw on there, and then you score these goals that nobody just typically scores.
Yeah, so...
AJ's saying that Tess is a good player, but Kids Wasted also showed some nice improvement over the course of the season. Well, that's good to know. Getting better in the online play. Sometimes it takes a while for you to kind of get competitive. Some guys jump in really quickly, and then some guys, they have to take a few beatdowns before when they start to get pretty good.
Like, super amazing.
Whoa. I remember when AJ wasn't that
really
good.
Long, yeah.
And that was like 14 years ago. I lost the series. I think he was up 3-0 on Hockey Fan, and Hockey Fan came back and beat him. And then I thought that's like a long time ago, but now I mean AJ just goes
that's
like
gotta be
80
like
and
2005 or 2006.
It was yeah. You go way back. I'm sure you can find it. It was in the plus. I think AJ will remember. He'll probably tell you exactly what series it was.
The screen, the QMJHL. If you want to find that, you would go to forum.nhl94.com. And I guess you just search for QMJHL. It'll pop up as the first results. Jay Klein made it. 23 downloads already. There's the screen, the splash screen with Alexis Lafreniere on it.
AJ's telling me he doesn't think he's lost the series being up 3-0. I gotta find it. I feel like it's there. I got it. Oh, you know what? We won't have. Oh, it doesn't go back to 2006. It only goes back to 08. AJ, I'm gonna find that series because I'm sure I kept stats. But maybe
If you've got a French version of the different announcer in it. Text is in French. It's pretty cool.
Oh, AJ's saying SNES against Hockey. No, it was Sega. It was one of the original. I think it was like the second league we ever had in Classic. It was the second or third league ever, and it was a long time ago.
So I don't see a Super Nintendo game set up. I'll send you the link to download Dan's series. We can do what we were doing in Socheld, play the games back at the same time.
Sure. Blades of Steel says, I disagree. I think Donkey Kong is the best game ever. It's been a long time since I played Donkey Kong. I wasn't really that good at it, though. I think I feel like I can only make it through like maybe 4 or 5 levels before I die. That's how bad I was at the game.
I just played it. It wasn't one I had a lot of play with.
Oh, so AJ is saying that Hokie beat him 4-3 in his rookie classic season. That was a back and forth season. Okay, I was wrong. I thought you were up 3-0. You lost 4-3. Anyways, that was when AJ was mortal before he became godlike.
So I sent you the link. I think you have access to download from there.
Yeah. While you're bringing that next series up, can we talk about the NHL rewind?
Get the downloads going. I think it's going to be a pretty big file. We can talk about it during that.
Sure. Sorry,
just because it's going to take a while to download the
later.
file, so I figure why don't we just download the file, so it's starting to download, and then we can talk about it.
Okay. I'm going to start time because I'd love to hear people's thoughts on this. But, so, within the last couple of days here, for anyone that was paying attention, and perhaps you might have saw it on the social media, there was something that was leaked a couple of days ago, and it was I think it was like a game rating. It was on like an Australian government website. This guy on Twitter, I forget who the Twitter account was, found it and posted it, and it was called, the game was NHL Rewind 94. So someone let me know about it, and then I was kind of doing some quick searches on it, and it seems like, here's what I think. I think it is a game. Because they actually took the link down probably within about 4 hours of it going, I would call it viral, but before I think that they started hearing wind of it because people were tagging in EA Sports and on Twitter and asking them about it, and the next thing you know, the link is down. And so that made me think, I think this is a game that is going to come out that they're working on. What it's going to look like, I don't know. I would think that it would be on your, the platforms, PS, PlayStation, Xbox, and all that. Maybe the Switch. I'm not sure. But what we're hoping is that it is a lot like the original game. So I don't expect it to be the same. Some people are saying, will it be Sega? Will it be Super Nintendo? I don't think it's actually going to be either. I think it's going to be something that's very close to those with the same kind of feel and sort of arcadey. There was, if anybody's ever played, I think it's called Tecmo Super Bowl Throwback. It was kind of like a relaunch of the original Tecmo Super Bowl. And I think it was based on maybe not the NES version, but the Super Nintendo version. But they came out a version like that. NBA Jam did the same thing. They brought out theirs kind of remake of it. And I think this is going to be kind of the same thing, which would be really, really cool. But it'll be interesting to see what actually they add to it, because we've been playing NHL 94 for a long time, and one of the biggest things that people always say is, oh God, there's any fighting, there's no blood. They took that out, which they did, which we always wish that they kept it in, but they didn't. And if you didn't know the story on that, that was basically right down the wire. It was supposed to be called NHL PA, or NHL 94 PA Hockey. And they took it out at the last minute because the NHL wanted the license and said, well, we'll put the license in, but you got to take the fighting out. So that was an actual thing. So I'm hoping that this game, Rewind, is going to have the same kind of feel. They're going to put the fighting back in it. I don't know if they would put the blood in it, but that would be awesome if they did, because that's what people always sort of talked about. I just have a feeling that they won't do that. But I'd be curious to know if there's anyone on the chat, what do you want to see in it? Or what do you think they should have in it? Some guys on Twitter have been saying that they kind of want to see, they want to have the full season. They want to have current rosters on it and original rosters. I don't know if that's going to happen. I think it would be more likely that they would have current rosters and not the old rosters, if anything. And then, I mean, whatever other features that might typically come with it from the new modern games. Some people are saying, hey, we want to be able to edit players, make your own players, that kind of thing, which would be neat. Yeah, I was just seeing here, Angry J says, I wonder if they can bring back the Sega SNES version. So yeah, I don't think that they're going to do either. I think it's going to be kind of their own thing that's very close, but obviously, with what's the word? 4K, sort of 4K pixelation. I don't even know if I said that right, but it's they make them players look a little crisper, but still have that sort of old school kind of feel. And then Dan says, I just want to see a multi-platform joint version that's the same but different. So current rosters, ranks, so we can rise up the leaderboard. I agree with you, Dan. I think the biggest thing in all of this is I really think they got to have online versus player mode. So for those that remember in NHL 14, they came out with this NHL 94 anniversary mode, which wasn't really anything like the original game. It was just the new, the current game engine simplified. It was fun to play, but it wasn't really anything like NHL 94, in my opinion. It was just a basic version of the actual game. Like I said, it was fun to play, but not the same thing. But I think for this, that they got to make it online compatible. And like Dan said, multi-platform, hopefully cross-platform, so that you can play online against whoever, because that's what we've been kind of longing for a long time. I mean, we do this with our online leagues now, but I mean, the one thing that I always get asked a lot is, where's the lobby? How do I get in the lobby? And well, it's not really a lobby. You join our Discord and then ask for a game there, and then you'll connect that way. So it's not really, just being able to pick up against and join and play against anybody. Angry J says, just give me the rosters and I can edit nose and ear and get it done. Nice. Dan says, of course, ratings and skill levels, so I don't get matched up against noobs. And Dan is definitely not a noob. He's been playing online for, it must be almost a year now. I think Dan, since I met Dan, I'm from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. He's in Regina, Saskatchewan. So we're about a 2.5 hour drive apart from each other. And I met him last year in a tournament, a Sega tournament in Regina that we played in. So, but he's been playing pretty much online since then. I don't know. Gosh, he must have played. Dan, how many games do you think he played so far? 400, 500 last year. But if you have a chance to do, you should watch some of Dan's videos. He's in the NHL 94 group on Facebook, if you're on that. He is in there quite often posting videos about how to get better at Sega, which are really fun to watch. So Dan also says, then we can actually see who is the best in the world. Hopefully no latency issues over Wi-Fi also. Yes, that is the one issue of playing online, is that sometimes you can get a really smooth game, but occasionally you get the occasional lag that you got to deal with. Dan, that's Dan. I don't even know how to pronounce your last name. Castellan? I'm going to take a guess at it's Castellan. Dan plays in this is a different Dan, and he plays in the Super Nintendo C League this year. Dan's from Chicago. He says if EA weren't who they are today, then they'd be smart and have like a gameplay toggle option for Gen style or Super Nintendo style. Both games rule, that would be sick. And I just blinked out the other part. Yeah, you know what, Dan, I think most people would say that, you need to have all the buttons in there in terms of being able to access the goalie. I think most Sega guys would agree that they would like to be able to take control of the goalie quicker. But as for the gameplay, obviously Super Nintendo and Sega there's quite a bit of differences between them in terms of how the passes are done, and Sega slap shots are a lot more common going in, and goalie controls is obviously much different as well. So that's a lot of my thoughts on this NHL Rewind. I really hope that it comes to fruition, because we've been asking for this for, a long time. There's one guy on Twitter, and I forget who it was. He keeps tagging in the NHL 94 to EA Sports and keeps asking them for this game. He's been doing it for a little while now. And then I saw his most latest post, is that he said he's taking 100% credit for all of this, for getting through to them. So. But anyways, that was AJ says I've been asking since 1994. I know. What's called? I wish I had I think it was called X-Band. If anybody had ever had that, I didn't have one. It was Super Nintendo, and you could hook up this X-Band, I think it's called X-Band, to your Super Nintendo and play through the old 56K modem against somebody online. I wonder what that would have been like, and what experience that would have been, but that would have been pretty cool to do that back then. 6 years. And here we are 26 years later, 27 years later since it came out. And we're just chugging through online. I've probably been yapping for quite a bit, Smaz. Are you... I've been watching the stream. I've actually just been watching the chat. So I see you had it up there for a while there. And that was the tweet that you're seeing on the screen. So just below that, they tagged the link, again, the classification.gov.au link. It's now taken down. So even if you went to it, they got rid of it. Which, like I said, that makes me think that this is legitimate. And that it is an actual game. It's not going to be connected to NHL 21, which are some people were thinking. I just don't think that there's enough time, because NHL 21 is already announced. They've already released their, what their game's going to be, and I'm sure that this would have been a part of it right off the bat, or they would have at least hinted at it. So my theory is that this is coming out later in 2020, near the end, or early 2021. So, you know what? And I'm getting razzed by a few of my buddies because I told them I told them about it, and then they said, "Oh, so you're finally going to get a PS5 now?" I said, "Yeah, I'll spend the hundreds of dollars to get a PS5 and this game." The one game, I'm sure I'll probably end up buying other games as a result of it, but I've been purposefully not upgrading my video game system because I just didn't want to get into spending money. Most of the time I just don't have a lot of time anyways to get wrapped up in games, but I would do it for this game. I would spend the money, whatever it costs. I don't really care. I'm not concerned too much about the price. I'm sure it'll be in line with any other kind of games that they release as part of it. So, but anyway, Smaz, what do you think?
It's so.
Is it going to be a game?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a separate game, like a DLC, like a downloadable game. But other than that, I really don't know. Like I hope I don't know why they would do this if it wasn't the actual NHL 94 style gameplay. But then that does bring up the question: is it Super Nintendo or the Sega version? And the way they could make everyone mad is they just went, let's just make it 95. Let's just use 95 and call it 94. Yeah.
Oh gosh, don't ever use 95.
That was the game where they kind of made it the same on both, right?
Do you have
I
one
have
of the newer
an
consoles?
Xbox One,
PS4,
which I just got to play. Me and my friend have been playing like the Halo games and Gears of War. You know, since we played Halo in 2004, I think. So we just always get the new one so we can play that. I've been playing Portal 2, which came out, I don't know, like 9 years ago now. I couldn't believe it. That's a game that I got it soon after it came out, and now I'm just finally playing it. So that's how far behind I am on my games.
I think the original one was
really
a
good.
game of the year.
Yeah, that was actually like a game they just made. Someone just made like one of those, like, you spend the weekend making a game, and they made this Portal game, and they expanded on it and turned it into the actual full game, which was pretty amazing.
I was just going to say that Angry Jay says they spent thousands of dollars to play 94, so $600 or $700 is not too bad. So for those that are still on the stream, thanks for sticking around. Oh, we got a dozen people. That's pretty good. He's probably traveled more than anybody, I think, in the community to tournaments. We're talking Hartford. I believe he was in New York. He's definitely been to Toronto. He's been to all of the King of 94 tournaments, which 2 of them are in Toronto, Vancouver, Las Vegas. He has come to my tournament in Saskatoon, I believe, twice. He came to the very first one. The very first tournament that we ever had was 2015 in January, and it was. Imagine this, guy from Sacramento. I don't know if he's ever experienced minus. I think it was like minus 33 Celsius, which
pretty
actually
close,
I think is about the same in Fahrenheit. So something around. We're pretty close. He came out for that, and he came out for that. You know what? I didn't even know if he was going to make it, but honestly, I don't think the cold bothered him at all. He managed to find I think somebody lent him a coat. And so when he played in the tournament, he came and had a few beers. My favorite AJ. Oh, he's telling me 3 times to Saskatoon. Okay, there you go. My favorite AJ story though was when he first got here. I'm sorry, I'm just teasing him a little bit, but he ordered a burger and fries, and they asked him if he wanted a side of gravy. And so the owner he goes, this is a stupid question from the U.S. Is the gravy for the hamburger or the fries? So perhaps it's not a thing in the U.S. or maybe parts of the U.S., but definitely if you get gravy in Canada, it's a side for your fries.
I went to, I was driving through Arizona, and I went to McDonald's, and they gave me mayonnaise for my fries. I was like, what? Why wouldn't you give me ketchup? It doesn't make any sense.
My biggest thing was when I went to the U.S. and went to McDonald's and asked for iced tea. I didn't. You actually get tea that's cold,
Sugar.
which is completely different from here, which is like a sugary drink. But Tess is saying, I can't wait for a live tournament someday when this stuff ends. I agree, Tess. You will definitely enjoy the tournaments. I think anybody that's watching, the one thing I've always found cool about playing in tournaments in NHL 94, like everyone is so chill. It doesn't really matter if they're winning or losing. I've always found that the guys are always pretty good. You know, when playing, nobody gets rage. You might see it. I guess we're not 17 years old anymore, but that is the one thing that I really enjoy about these tournaments, and I travel to a lot of them too. I organize a lot of them myself, and I do it because it's so much fun. So if you're new, like Tess, who's never been to one before, honestly, dude, you can make one out regardless of where it is across the U.S. Or Canada, for that matter. Man, you'll love it. You'll have so much fun. Doesn't matter how many players. I mean, the ones against Saskatoon, I think last year I had 16 people. Small number relative overall to some of the bigger ones. I think Rack gets the 30-some in his. And the King of 94, that one, I think it peaked at about 128.
We limited it at 128.
Anyways. Yeah. And he says it'll be more fun to get crushed by Jay and Raph in person. I don't know if it'll be more fun. It'll still be fun. But Deathrox, welcome to the... Oh, sorry, not Deathrox, Deathrox. He corrected me on that before. Welcome to the stream. And Angry Jay says, can't wait to see you there, Tess. They can see... Tess says they can see my
That's like a nice one-timer
reaction.
What was... yeah, so you were saying, like, people are pretty chill at tournaments. I was on Reddit for this leak, I guess. This NHL Rewind 94 leak was mentioned, and there was someone there who actually played in the Switch tournament. And yeah, he had a good review. He said, I think he lost all those games, but he had a good time, and the people were all really friendly. You could tell. He said you could tell that people were really into hockey. It wasn't just like about the game and winning and that. And yeah, everyone's like 35, 40, 45, and pretty relaxed. No one was, blowing up like a teenager getting angry. It wasn't happening at all. Yeah. Do you want to try downloading the
sure.
game? I sent you a link. It's going to be
which game?
Dan and I think Sonoffett. It's just a video. Yeah, we'll just watch it together and do what we were doing for some of the Sochal pre-recorded games.
Sure. Let's see if I can
You'll have to log in as King of 94 Gmail.
Yeah, I'm in there. I see it. I'm just trying to...
Dan says, just a video with so much more. So, apparently it's a pretty good series. Ireland Twitches said, this proposed game must add something extra to the experience we already have. It's to be created in our great community, otherwise it would be kind of pointless, right? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, we'll think about that.
I agree. Ireland Twitches, I need to know if that's... Is that... there's a guy who plays in our online league. He's from Ireland. I'm assuming that's the same guy. Can you confirm that? I think he goes by DMM.
Yeah, that's right.
1000.
The Tess was asking that. Is that you,
no,
DMM?
It's him? Okay. I know.
Yeah, so yeah, Dan mentioned, I mean, even if it was exactly the same game, at least it would make it available to everyone.
I got Dan's game. Yeah, I got Dan's game up here.
Yes.
Edmonton, Washington? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's about an hour, I said. Like I said, that's a bit of a spoiler, but... So make sure to download it, just in case you don't want it buffering and then we get out of sync. Okay, perfect. So I'm
I
going
did
to
download it.
load that up on my machine.
Yeah, I downloaded it. So I think we're okay. Stop your that's me. This addiction is getting on top of me. Nice. Well, I'm thinking that, geez, the DMM, Ireland. I mean, what's the time is it there? 4 o'clock in the morning? 5 o'clock in the morning?
There's NHL 94 to watch.
It's got to be pretty early. Okay. Let's get this rolling. You want to do a countdown?
Yeah, so you do
right?
the countdown. So we'll go on like 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so I'll figure out who is who here. So I actually didn't look that up. Oh, so they're setting up. I'm just not sure who is which team. I'm pretty sure Dan is Washington.
Oh.
Good point.
Downtown Susu. And this is so Dan runs OPHL. I'm sure you can post in the chat exactly what that means. And my understanding is this league we use original teams, and so he tries to set it up where it's actually a pretty good idea. So if you're not very skilled, you're going to get a really good team. If you're extremely skilled, you're going to get a very low-ranked team. And so the idea behind it is that the tournament is it basically, okay, so it's online handicap playoff league. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory from the title, and he does it in a tournament format. So they play a best of 7. And then I think if you get eliminated, Dan's going to correct me on this. If you get eliminated in the first round, then you go to a lower bracket and you play through that, and the winners play through the winner bracket. So I don't think it's a double elimination. I think they just separate the first round, send one into a lower bracket, and keep the other ones in the upper bracket. There's a B level, yeah. Okay, so Dan's confirming. It's the classic ROM, and if you don't know what the classic ROM means, it just means the original game. We call it the classic ROM. 1-minute penalties, so it is edited. So if you're used to seeing 2-minute penalties, they reduce it to 1, which is actually a good way of doing it because anybody that's playing, I mean, a 5-minute period game and you get a 2-minute penalty, it's pretty significant. And especially if you get 3 or 4 penalties in the game, you can literally play half the entire game shorthanded. So putting a 1-minute penalty, it makes a lot of sense. And the highest ranked players, you say, gets the worst teams, newer players gets the high ranked teams. So it is a really good idea. I think it's worked out pretty well for them. And it gives guys like Henry J a challenge if he's used in Florida. I know that there's
a special feature of that league is if you win the league, you're kicked out of the league, or you graduate from the league. So yeah. I think after like 16 seasons, they're gonna do after some number of seasons, they'll do like a champions.
Dan, come into my office. Dan, you've been promoted at your job, and your salary is being reduced by 75%. So congratulations. I think it's a great idea. I'm just teasing Dan. Actually, that's pretty cool. Kick someone out and then bring them back maybe later on or something like that. So here we are early on. It is 2-0 for Dan here in the second period against Edmonton, and he's playing sonoffett. And that is, his name is Matt. He's from, I believe he's from the Pittsburgh area. And he's been an online player for a very, very long time. He's back to one of our original players, I think, back in like 2006. Loves the Pittsburgh Penguins, as far as I'm aware, and but he's now 3-0 in here in this series. So Dan, with that early 3-0 lead, he's got Bonder now stopping, doing a circle around, and nice play there by sonoffett. I'm just going to call him Matt because it's probably a bit easier. Dan and Matt. So Dan's Washington, and Matt is Edmonton in this we'll call it the round one of the handicap, online handicap league. Here's Dan again. Pass along. Chris Stitch trying to cut in front, loses control, gets it back. Circling around, trying for that cross crease. Oh, and he went for the one-timer, but it went right through the wingers. It's kind of one of those ones where I'm sure he was hammering on the A button and it just didn't click. So for whatever reason there, that one-timer didn't work. And here we go with our 1 minute penalty. So Mike Ridley's going to sit in the box for 1 minute, which means he'll get out of the box early in the second period. That normally wouldn't happen in game. So if you're confused, if you've never seen this before, it's a edited ROM. It is not the original ROM, and penalties are only 1 minute long. Here is Matt. Matt with Klima, and he got knocked over a little bit there. Now Bonder back the other way, loses it. And Manson gets dumped as well. Here is Dan with Chris's slap shot and scores it. How did that one go in? Put that one on the replay.
I think the defenseman picked it up and just put it in the net.
Because, yeah, Ranford, I don't know what happened there, but Ranford just did not make the save on that one. 4-0 here in the second period. Dan is up by a lot. A nice little dive there. I love that in Sega where they dive and they like literally, they're literally out beyond the top of the circle. Third period, 4-0. Fifth period. Sounds like Tampa Bay and Columbus. Third period here, 4-0 for Dan here in game one, and he is kind of taking full control of this game. But here's Matt. Matt has Klima. That's the guy he needs to score some goals, but he loses control of it there. Play is dumped back down. Beaupre picks it up and puts it up to Ridley. Bondra playing at center at this game. You want the speedy Bondra, and there's going to be a penalty here coming up to the Capitals. And there he is. Special Agent 007 is going to sit in the box for a whole 1 minute to think about what he just did out there. Dan has it shorthanded with Ridley. That's a nice thing sometimes about this game is that even you're shorthanded. Oh, wow! Shot! That was a one-timer. I went squeaked through. Oh, my gosh. Put that one up. That was weird. You know what? Nice play by Dan because I think that was intentional. He shot that around the boards, picked it up with his finger. I'll say that the shot from the point he didn't expect to go in, but it did. Wow, what a goal. 5-0 here in game one for Dan. He is running away with it and looks to be in control and have a 1-0 lead after this over. Matt just trying to get something going here, just to get one goal. Something to start himself to lead into game two. Any kind of momentum he can get just to make himself feel better. Dan circling around the net. Holding up, and Matt tried a nice save there, but dang it, didn't get the shot off. Went back to the point. Kind of a weak shot from the point. Easy save there for Edmonton. There's Dan, loses control of it. Matt's back the other way with Klima. He gets knocked down, and now here is Dan. There's a shot there. He tried for the EA special. Didn't quite get the rebound that he wanted, but nonetheless, still 5-0. And Shane Corson takes a dump in the middle of the ice. Peter Bondra is going to sit out the rest of the game unless Edmonton can score. But it won't matter because 5 goals, pretty hard to come back here in this kind of game with only 1 minute left. Now, AJ could do it. AJ could come back, but it's not going to happen here. So time winding down, we're going to head to game two. Dan's going to have a 1-0 lead in this best of 7. Round one. Dan says it sounds like Halifax is a few seconds off. I probably am. I am in life, so
okay, I can fix that.
Sure I am in commentating.
I'll take it. I'll fix it in the next game. So a little bit of context about why they are Edmonton and Washington. It's called the Handicap League because based on your previous season, I think you might have mentioned this, you get a worse team if you finish higher. So last season, sonoffett was 3rd. At least he was, let's see here. He was seeded 3rd. He actually lost in the first round of the playoffs. Dan was seeded 4th, and he lost in the semifinals Some of these players are pretty good, so that's why they are these kind of mid to kind of bad teams. Washington and Edmonton. Okay, so I'll try to sync up here based on listening to your playback and seeing where the puck is.
Sure. Oh, and Dan was just clarifying too. He said not just based on the league performance or the tournament performance, however you want to call it. He says it's actually based on all known information at the time. So I think what he's trying to say there is that, yeah, you know what, if you did well in the previous tournament, you're going to go down a bit, but there's probably other leagues and other things going on
that makes sense.
That he takes into account as well. Just because, there could be somebody, who knows the time between each tournament happens, right? So somebody might get a lot better in between those tournaments, and then you have to say, well, is it fair to give them a much weaker team? Maybe it doesn't, right?
Yeah,
so I
and
think
if,
that's what he's trying to
I mentioned
get
that
at.
sonoffett lost his first round series, so you don't want to give him like a really good team just because he lost early last year. It doesn't really make sense, because he's pretty good. Because you could just lose on purpose and then get Detroit or something. So yeah, you got to kind of rate them according to everything. Yeah.
Rate them accordingly. Don't pull a DC Con kind of thing. Right. Okay, so second game of the series here, and we're still in the first period. There's no goals yet, so that was fun. We got to talk over all of the non-goal stuff, so hopefully there's a goal coming here soon, because we need some offense. Shot that just went outside of the playing rink there. That doesn't happen very often along the sideboards. Kind of neat to see. Here is Matt. Matt has got Doug Waite. Waite trying to go in. Nice, looked like a nice two-pad stacked save there by Dan, or at least by the goalie. And now Dan is back the other way with Ridley, who's in control of it. Madsen picks it up, tries to put it down to Doug Waite, but it was picked off, and time expires. So we have a 0-0 score, no goals. Unlike last game when Dan had 5 goals, but Matt's still looking for his first goal of the series. He needs to get a goal and kind of get himself rolling here. Shot, and there it is. He gets the first goal of the game. 1-0 Klima. It was the EA special. Put it in off of Beaupre at the rebound. Nice backhander. And 1-0 for the Oilers here in the second period. Matt looking for more. He has Madsen stopping in the corner. I thought maybe he'd go around the net there. He had room, but he circled back, and Dan had cut him off. So Dan loses control of it there, and Klima, the shot to the far side. Beaupre makes a nice save. There's a partial breakaway, and he loses control of that one there. There's going to be a penalty to the Oilers. Number 9, Shane Corson, is going to the box. And as Angry Jay would say, he feels shame. One-timer across there, nice save by Bill Ranford and Oilers. Here comes Matt, he's in on a breakaway. And nice save there by Dan, he came out to cut it off. Didn't have to do the two-pad stack, he was able to reduce the real estate between him and the puck. And there's no way that Matt was going to score on that. Dan comes back the other way. Number 3, is that Hatcher? I know AJ.
Pretty sure it's Hatcher. Might be, is it...
is that Kevin Hatcher? I think so. Okay.
Maybe it's Cote. Sylvain Cote?
I can't remember, but you know what? Oh, is it Cote? Okay, gotcha. Oh, nice tuck in the corner there by Matt as he had come out. He thought he was cutting across. Pardon me, but Matt went on the backhand, short side. Nifty little move, 2-0. So AJ's my go-to here for numbers because he knows his game inside out. He's saying it's Johansson and Cote. So Sylvain Cote, and is that Johansson? I'm trying to think now. Is that Marcus Johansson? No. Who's the Johansson on the Callie Johansson? That's who it is. Right. 3-0 here for the Edmonton Oilers, and this is a complete reversal of Game 1 that we're seeing right here. So Dan was in complete control of Game 1. Matt is in complete control of Game 2. 3-0 here with just 1 minute left to go here in the second period in this second game of the OPHL first round tournament. Dan picks it up with Special Agent Bonder, but he lost it, and now Klima has it. The backhander, rebound. Oh, and I saved it by Opry. Skates around with it again. One timer, got cut off in the middle there. Still 15 seconds left. There's a shot, and that was about as far wide of the net.
It's like a scene flat shot where he takes out the organ guy.
So, I think that's exactly what it is. Like Smaz said, he took out the organ player.
So I realized something.
Up in the Raptors there.
Sonoffett is known as one of the best defensive players. I think him and I had a 0-0 overtime game, possibly to the end, or like 10-minute overtime. And Dan, a couple weeks ago, posted some videos where him and AJ had worked on how to break down a good zone defense. So Matt here with who's Edmonton, so he would typically control the center part of the ice, and so Dan was learning how to try to break down that defensive structure with AJ. So it seemed to work in that first game. He got 5 goals. Sonoffett is quite a few. This game though, 0 still.
You know what? I think Dan's going to go back and watch his own videos for his own advice, and then he's going to realize that Game 3 is going to be different for him because he's down 3-0 here. Oh, but he gets one there, the EA special. Put it off of Ranford, got the rebound, a couple more shots, and tucked her home. Mike Ridley making it 3-1. 2:37 left in the third, but still some time left. 2 goals is not a big. It's not insurmountable with this amount of time. You can do it. And now Edmonton's taking a penalty, so here's a chance for Dan to make it a 1-goal lead if he can. AJ says, put a helmet on that Oregon guy. Yeah, that's exactly right, because right now he's in a coma. So if you put the helmet on now, it'll make a difference. 2 minutes to go. Here is Matt with the guy that he needs. Is Cleveland puts it across there, and that he's almost took a penalty there. He was in the goalie crease and got knocked down. 1:30 left. Dan needs to score here. Needs to score soon. There's a shot. He tried it again. Couldn't get the rebound, though, as Edmonton picks it back up. Here's Matt. One-timer coming. And it was put back to the point. He was trying to go to the center there, but that was some of those ones, those one-timers. They don't always go where you want them to. They just have a mind of their own sometimes. 40 seconds left. Time is winding down here. 3-1 lead for Edmonton, and Matt is in control of this. Is he pulling his goalie now? He is. Okay, so Dan has pulled his goalie for 20 seconds left. Stopping in the corner. Dan cuts out in front, and nice save there. And that will do it for the game. 3-1. Edmonton Oilers win, and we are tied at 1 in this first round series. So as you said, Matt, the defensive specialist, put on defensive clinic. He only gave up 1 goal that game. I agree. I've always been hearing over the years that Matt is one of the better defensive players out of anybody. But maybe, Smaz, you can tell me what makes him so good at defense. What is it? Is it his goaltending? Is it just how he positions his players?
Dan is saying he paused the video. I felt like it was pretty much in sync. I'll keep an eye on it. So I found that I haven't played him for quite a while, but he would use his defenders to clog the slot really well. So it was very hard to just make any opportunity to take a shot. He would be, he would have his defensive coverage in place before you could get anything going.
It could maybe.
I can do both. I can pause or speed it up on my end.
Oh, okay.
Narrate what the clock is, and I'll do it based on that.
Okay, sure. So the clock is at 4 minutes. It is now at 3:53, and we just had a goal there. So pretty close. Okay. On the stream, I heard a face-off cheer about 3 seconds after I saw the puck drop. That's what Dan's telling us. Sorry, Dan. We're doing our best here. We apologize if it doesn't look and sound in sync, but if it matters, you're down 2-0 in this game. So yeah, 3:31 We're just a minute and a half in, and Matt has already got 2 goals for the Oilers here, and he's looking for more. Here is Dan back the other way, and he's got the one-timer there right in front. Nice play as he saw Bonder streaking to the net. I love those kind of one-timers, the ones where most people try usually across the crease or they try from behind the net, but I love the ones where your player is back up higher, either mid or closer to the blue line, and you kind of pass it towards the net and get those ones right in the corner there, and that's what Dan did. Dan looking for more, and he gets it. He gets his own rebound there. Bonder with 2, and it is 2-2 here in the first period, 2.5 minutes in. AJ says, yes, offense is just flowing in game 3. Who's down 2-0 now, Dan says. You're right, it's tied 2-2. I should have just kept my mouth shut, considering that this game was already played, and you already know who won this game, and I don't. 2-2. Here's Matt. Matt, breakaway. Yeah, they just shot it wide of the net there. Couldn't tuck that one home. That would have been would have taken the lead here. And now Calle Johansson, he's going to sit in the box for 1 minute. Un momento. 1:30 left here in the first period, and shot down the ice. There is the Oilers picking it up because there's no icing there with the power play going on, and Oilers are going to be up on 2 men here. So now Matt is just trying to get a shot there, and he puts it on Beaupre to get the whistle. Pardon me. So that's going to send Bonder to the box. I'm going to face off in the Washington Capitals zone. Dan smartly just clears it out because a clear out's going to at least knock off a good 10 to 15 seconds. There's a one-timer there by Edmonton. Nice goal by Klima to make it 3-2. And the key thing about that was that he did it 1 second before the other player was about to come off the ice. So it is still a power play for the Oilers. Here is, Dan shot. He had the wide open net there, and that sailed over top of the glass. Typically, I'm curious, do those angle ones go in? And Super Nintendo, you can get them to go. I try and do it a lot, right along the goal line. People always say, how did you do that? But you can do it, and I don't know if it can happen in Sega. Anyways, pro tip, if you play the Super Nintendo League, you can score right along the goal line if you do it correctly. So I was just curious if you could do it in Sega. You can. I'm sure that AJ or Dan will tell us if you can or not. 3-2, second period here as Oilers are up by goal. Matt is in the lead, and he's back to the power play again. He takes control of it with Manson. Manson, over the line, gives it to Doug Waite. Or Dougie Waite he tried for the EA special there, but you know what? He would have had it if he didn't run into Beaupre, so he actually fell over before he could get control of it and shoot it in the empty net. Still 3-2, trying for another one. That was a weird one-timer play, if you saw that. He had the wind-up, and then he didn't shoot it, and then there was like this split-second delay, and then he let one go. That was kind of a neat play there. Don't see that. 3-0-2 here in the second period. Oilers up by 1. Capitals back the other way. Dan brings it over the line with Mike Ridley. Circling around, trying to find a pass. He's going for the one-time at the EA special, and he ties it at 3. This has been going on all game where these guys have been going back and forth and doing those moves. The EA special, that is a move that is championed by our community member, Eric Anthony. Vostal is his name, and he goes by EA. And so he has been, I'm assuming we'll call him the master, perhaps the originator of this move. It's essentially just a dump it on the goalie and looking for the rebound as the goalie will sprawl out to try and cover it. And then you just take the rebound and shoot it in. So seen it quite a few times in this game. It's 3-3. Here's Matt. He's got Manson, puts it back to the point. Long shot. Those are not going to go in very
Dan's
high.
been using the
still tied at 3.
It's because his players don't really have a lot of scoring power, like Ridley especially. He's not gonna overpower the goalie or anything. So just always wait out of there. To just get that rebound is a good technique with a not very good team.
Yikes. That was That was a goalie gaff there, and you can see that Dan, I think, out of frustration, paused the game right away to stop the music because his goalie drifted way off to the side, basically to give a wide open net. Oh, nice circle back, the backhander there by Matt, and making it 5-3 here in the second period. AJ says, look like a goalie slip. Now, AJ, you might have to tell me exactly what is a goalie slip. Perhaps it's not what I understood when I was watching. It just looked like he might have took control and accidentally moved the controller, but maybe it means something else. Let me know. 5-3, game 3, up by 2, third period here in the OPHL round 1 tournament. And that is the puck here. He needs to try and find his way back in the game. Start with 1 goal and try and see if he can get a second goal, at least tie it before the end of the third. Here's Matt. He's in on a breakaway, scores, and he makes it 6-3. Tucks it in. His 5th goal of the game for Peter Klima with the awesome bucket helmet from Jofa. If anyone remembers that one, you should get a picture of Peter Klima and put that up on the screen, Smoz. Find an old bucket lid of Peter Klima. 7-3 now. Doug Wade scores from Igor Kravchuk, who gets his first assist of the game for the Oilers here in the third. So Matt is starting to run away with here in game 3. Tried for the pass
He's got the Jofa bucket picture as his actual Twitter avatar.
Does he? Yeah, exactly. I don't know if there's too many players that wore that helmet. And, oh, boy, it was an ugly-looking helmet. So, but who knows? Maybe it was super protective. Comfy. I have no idea. I think that's probably what he's known for. Dan says I give up. Series over. Dan says I give up. Series over. And AJ says shut her down, Smoz. So I guess that's it. Dan has already told us who's won this series. I don't want to commentate the next 2 games.
Assuming that we're going to game 7 overtime, so it doesn't make sense.
Dan with it, with Kristich. Loses control, and Matt picks it up, puts it up to Dougie Wade. Dougie Wade, stutter step, loses it. Now Bonder back the other way. Just for some pride here, if he can get 1 goal. I mean, this game, 4 goals, pretty hard to come back with a minute and a half left. Not impossible, but very unlikely. I find that the more higher skilled players that you get in a game, it becomes a lot more difficult to come back. Now, if a weaker player happened to get up on an early lead on a better player, then comebacks are usually a lot more likely. But perhaps not in this case. Nice pass shot there by Dan. Tucked it right in the corner, straight from one of his tutorial videos, and he puts it on the online stream to say, hey, I told you how I could do this, and I showed you how I could do this. 7-4. Game is almost over here in the third period. As Matt is going to take a 2-1 series lead with the Oilers.
Bucket picture up on the screen. Yeah, that's the picture he uses for his Twitter.
Yeah. So it must be coming up soon. I have a delay on mine, so I don't
AJ
see
says, I'm working the same airflow as
Klima. I'm working the same airflow as Klima. Okay, it just popped up on my phone here now, too. So there you go. Peter Klima. For those that remember, hey, quick quiz. You see the 75 logo on the right shoulder. What year was that from? Does anybody know? And post it in the chat. Tell me the year of the NHL year that was their 75th season. I was just curious who will get it. So, yeah. Anyways, we'll see what someone posted up. 1991. That's what AJ says. I think it's pretty close to that. That could be it. I can't specifically remember, but I know that it was from the year the NHL Pro Set had their first set of cards, I think. So that sounds right to me, 1991. I thought it was 91-92, but AJ says 1991, so I'll believe him because it's AJ. Game 4 underway here in Edmonton as they are the home team for this game. Washington Capitals are the road team. And if you're just joining us, I'm sure that you're not just joining us because nobody just joins us in these. They usually just leave at some point. We have 7 viewers now. We did have 12. AJ says, just confirmed I'm wrong. Okay, so confirm what is right. And that's what we want to know. Hallie with the big brain. It is 91.92. Okay, that's right. There you go. I thought, AJ, I always trust that you're correct and I'm not correct. So, but I got one right out of 100. So, and you know what? And Matt gets 1 out of 1. It's 1-0 here in game 4. So he takes an early lead here on Dan. Excuse me. I'm not coughing. I don't have COVID, so it's just a little tickle on my throat from commentating. Kelly Johansson, go sit in the box for 1 minute because you got a penalty, bud. Freaking Kelly Johansson.
So here you can see sonoffett's defense. And actually, he used an angry J technique of going behind the net to draw him away.
Oh, he did. Okay, well, there you go. See? You're watching all the oh, nice one-time there across. He timed it perfectly. Sometimes when you're doing those one-timers, you just have to wait to the right time before you pass it so that it's pretty much almost impossible for the other player to get across with his goalie. And good timing there on Dan. Got it with Bondra, and it's 1-1. Here's Dan again. Another one-timer there. Waited for again. He waited for Callie Johansson, who just came out of nowhere. The two teammates are uniting for a goal. I guess that's why Dan has him in there, because he gets those big goals, even though he gets the penalties. But you know what? We're not the coach. Dan's the coach. And Dan's winning. He's up 2-1 heading into the second period. As Dan says, you hesitate, you die. That's right, Dan. Perfect timing out there on those one-timers. Keep it up, bud. We'll see how the second period goes because you're up 2-1 on a couple beauties. Shot goes out of play there, so the face-off will take out outside the zone. And Dan bringing it in on the line with Cote. Cote putting it around the net. I like that play when the players do that. Puts it out to Bondra, who is going to try and circle back here. And again, he right in the net and try to get the shot there, but get knocked down just before he could get the shot away. Penalty coming up against the Capitals. I bet you it's Callie Johansson because that's who deserves to go to the box because he's always going to the box. And Dan is just waiting for Matt to do something with it. Matt finally just gives it to him and says, you know what, I'm just going to take the face off. Cote is going to the box. Well, what happened there was, and Dimitri Christians as well, so it's a 5-on-3. So if you weren't paying attention there, it was actually Callie Johansson that slashed both those players and then pointed to his teammates, just like they kind of do in basketball where some guys will take the foul instead. And I think that's what happened. Oh, there had Callie Johansson going back in the box. He finally admitted that he deserved to go. 5-on-3. Wow. And we have 5-on-3 for 1:45. So if you're watching and you're wondering why that is, it's because there's 1 minute penalties. So it actually would have been a lot longer than that. But still, 1:45, that's a good amount of time for Matt to try and tie this game up. It's 5-on-3. He's got a breakaway here. Nice goal there, and he does tie it up. And that wipes out all of the penalties. Must have been a couple guys that popped off quick there. So here you go. AJ says, nice, Callie. And then he says, Bueller. Okay, AJ, I don't know what the Bueller means, but you might have to fill me in on that one. So I must have missed it. There's 7 people watching the game and only 2 people are commentating. So maybe it's just because I'm one of them and maybe Smaz has the other 3 or 4 screens open on his everywhere else just to get some viewers. Kalina scores 3-2. Matt is now up in game 4 here. Matt is up in the series 2-1. Hey, do you want to fix that on the screen there, Smaz? Right now it says they're tied at 1 series, but we need to show the viewers that it's game 4. It's not game 3. 1 minute to go here in the second period. Washington has the power play and needs to take advantage because they're down by a goal. There's Dan. Slap shot, and he rips her in the bottom corner there. Nice goal by Kristic. Assist by Cote. Cote has 3 points today. Geez, somebody got them in their pool on this one. Is really racking up the points. Nobody picks Cote in the pool, but whoever did, boy, they are laughing now. 20 seconds left here in the second period. Game is tied at 3 here in Game 4 of this first round OHPL, OPHL, OHLP
Dan, who won Game
tournament.
3?
Matt won Game 3. So Dan won the. Dan's saying it's the third round. So we got the first round up there. Let's change that. Dan is correcting us. This is the third round of the tournament. So all this time, I've been saying the first round, and now Dan just corrected me now. So put up round 3. So we apologize for the first 3 games and a bit. We've been lying to you. This is round 3, so that's very important because it's not round 1. This is a big series. Dan skating around with Bondra. Skating outside the zone, coming back inside the zone, and that's the nice thing about the offsides off is that you get a lot more freedom to do things like that. I love it, and a lot of people will do that. They will, if they don't like what they see, they will skate back outside, and what it does is it resets the defending team. Sometimes what you end up getting too is the defense will push up, and then you can kind of sneak in around them. So the AI will come try and get you, and you skate in behind them and have an opportunity there. So good chances to do that. Or if you're AJ doesn't matter. He likes to bury himself in behind the net, and he's like the magic man back there, or Gretzky's office when he sets up his plays. 2 minutes to go here in the third period, and nice goal there by Bondra from Callie Johansson, the big defenseman. And he takes the lead here with 2:06 in the third period. NHL 94 Death Rock says, going to be playing Fed here in a few. Awesome. That's good to know, buddy. Hopefully you win. Treffo 11 says, pass shots are lame, score like a man. Come on now, bud. Pass shots are... They're legal. They count. I mean, if you can do them, give her, bud. You know, that's how you work. Dan says, sorry, Treffo. I kept missing them all night. I think I got one later. And AJ says, that is a manly goal right there. And Dan says, yeah, if it's in the game. I agree. If it's in the game, just give her. 1 minute to go here. Edmonton's got the power play. Are they going to tie it? They need to tie it. Try and send this game to overtime. 40 seconds left. Here is Matt. He puts it over to Dougie Wade. Dougie Wade coming in, trying to find someone to pass to, and Dennis is going to sit there and wait. He's like, I'm not giving you any room. 18 seconds. He's got to make a move. He's got to try and find somebody. There's one time when I saved my blueprint. Stuck the stick out and saved the game. 4-3 win, and this series is tied. It is tied at 2. Dan wanted to go home. He wanted to go home after game 3. Well, it's good that he stuck around because he's tied the series at 2, and wow, we are in for a good finish. We are now the best of 3. Best of 3. They took a quick look at the stats here. I didn't even have time to read what they were looking for, but there it goes. So now in Game 5, Smaz, if you want to update the screen, put our 2-2 on there for the series. And Treffo says big save, and Angry J says what a 6 save. Treffo, I gotta know, are you an online community member? If you are, because I don't recognize the. It's Schmidt. Oh, okay, nice. Thanks, Schmidt. Welcome. Actually, it's not Schmidt. It's Alexander Jagorigrev.
Maybe using your own name is not.
Jagorigrev.
Just to do online.
Yeah, I'm good. Pretty good at pronouncing hockey players' names. So, Dan says Treffo is Schmidt equals Alexander Grigoriev equals Dr. Fauci. The Rangers' backup goalie. Very good. Thank you very much, sir. Game 5 underway here. No score. The Capitals are at home this game, and that is Dan, who is with Peter Bondra, and he's skating around. And he loses it to Matt. Matt in a breakaway. Tried for the backhander there. Nice save by Dan. He came out with Beaupre to cut it off. But Matt picks it back up again. He's got it with Dougie Wade. You wait on the wing. Typically, he plays center in this game. He usually owns wings for this. And it makes sense because you want the speedy Peter Klima at center. Penalty coming up to Mike Ridley. 1 minute penalty here in the first period. There's 2:46 left. And is 0-0 score. Treffo 11 says Edmonton is the negative 120 favorite. Is that how we say it? Negative 120, minus 120? However you do that. Dan says, oh, harsh. Because Washington was a higher seed. 0-0 there. Oh, wow. Nice little move there by Matt. He faked the cut across. Cheese goal, circled back, and he was able to suck Beaupre out and just kind of tuck it right easily in that corner there. So it's 1-0. Clearly, Halifax is not a degenerate gambler. That's right. I don't gamble at all. I gambled once at a casino and I lost $10, and that was it. So that's how much I bet. Oh, there's a nice floater goal. Beaupre was down. Corson just pops her in there. Top corner, nice little floater where Mummy hides the baking goods. 1:20 here left in the first period. Matt back with it and loses control of it. Now Cote, that's Dan, he had picked up. He lost it. Matt back again with Doug Wade. Trying to squeeze his way along the boards there, but he got rubbed out along the boards. Puck comes back into the Edmonton zone, and Matt's going to try again. Matt coming down, past one-timer. Beaupre there for the save. As Matt got it again, but now 11 seconds left here. See if he can get one. Oh, nice one. Nice pass shot there. Almost tried to tuck it in on the corner there, but good save. And oh, he's getting flattened in front of the net. The Capitals are taking a penalty. Good job, Dan, by giving us some entertainment there, just in front of the referee near the end of the period. Dan said, I gambled once and lost 10 grand, and that was not it. I don't know if Dan is pulling my chain there or not. But, if you did lose 10 grand, well, I'm sorry to hear that, bud. I mean, you could have used that 10 grand to buy a lot of things, If you had $1 million, you'd buy Kraft Dinner. What would you do with 10,000? 2-0 for Edmonton in the second period. And now it's 3-0 there. Nice one-timer across for Corson. Corson gets his third goal of the game. 3-0 for Shane Corson over the Washington Capitals here in Game 5. They are just taking it to the Capitals in their own barn. Yes. There's Matt. Matt puts it down to Corson. Corson skating around with it, trying to find the one-timer, does it, but good save there with Beaupre. Dan took control of him, puts it up to, he's got it to Bonner. Bonner is in behind the net, needs to go to the corner. He's going to go back behind the net, but he loses it. Passing in behind the net again. Tried to come out front. Oilers, almost had a blunder there as they put it off his defense and it was going back towards the net. But he had a good save there with Ranford. But there, nice play by Dan. He deked him on his backhander. Had Matt going the wrong way. 3-1 here. Schmidt says, stop talking on the chat. Pay attention to your whipping. I think he's talking to Dan there. He's saying, Dan, pay attention that you're getting whipped here. 3-1. Here we go, Dan. That's what Dan says, because it's probably from that goal, and it's 4-1.
He passed it through his own skate and kicked it in.
Of course, it managed to squeeze.
I want a replay on that one.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's check out the replay on that one, Smoz, because I don't know if that one was legal, but it counts. Treffo says. Treffo calls it a cheapie. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but it is a cool cheapie. I love seeing goals like that. You don't see very often. Capitals take another penalty here. They are down 3-1. Not playing a very disciplined game. Short-headed, and they need to kind of get to work here and try and get themselves back into this game. Face off as Beaupre skated out too far. He was obviously smelling some cheeseburgers on the bench, but you can't do that when you still have the puck. Gotta wait for a whistle. 1 minute to go here in the second period. Edmonton on the power play. They are just looking for that one-timer. There it is. Nice save by Beaupre. 45 seconds left in the second period. Penalty is expired. Now Dan is back to work 5-on-5. Capitals with it. Dan passes it back up. Went to the defense, but now there's a breakaway. Scores 5-1. Klima gets his first goal of the game, and the Oilers are now up by 4 goals. Nice play there by Matt. Dan did try to dive out, but it didn't quite work. So good try there. Dan says, I always guess wrong. Yeah, you don't always guess wrong, Dan. I don't believe that. You know, you might have guessed wrong when you bet the 10,000 and lost that, but other than that, I don't think you always guess wrong. So. Trefo says ball game, which he means hockey game, but that's hockey game, ball game. In other words, this game is over. Don't even bother playing the third period. I would like to skip through the third period and just go to game 6, but we can't because that'll screw everything up. So we'll just keep going here. It's 5-1, and whistle coming up here. There's a penalty for Dmitry Kristich. He's going to the box for a minute here in the third period, and Matt is in complete control of this game. Matt, there's a couple shots there. Nice save by Beaupre. He puts it up to Calle Johansson. Stops, stutter steps. Still Calle Johansson puts it in around behind. Nice play by Bondra. Oh, nice goal. He put it on all the way around the net, and that was a nice play as Bondra skated in. Tucked it in the corner there. Matt went up to try and play with his goalie, missed it, and good play there by Dan to make it 5-2. Puck recovery, boys. That's what Dan says. He says sick. You know what? I agree, Dan. That was a nice play. I like that goal. Pass shot, says Trefo. Angry Jays. We got a penalty shot here. Here's Dan. Stops. Waits. Circles. And he lost it. Oh, come on, bud. You got to fire that puck. Fire that puck. 5-2 with 3 minutes to go. Oof. It says. But you know what? He gets one here. 5-3. He's making it a close game. It was 5-1. Is he going to come back? Who knows? 2:40 to go. Yeah. Sorry, that was Matt with the Oilers, and now Matt gets it back. But Dan's got he tried the pass shot there, but he's taking a penalty with Bondra. And now he's going to be shorthanded here. Down by 2 goals. Just over 2 minutes to go here in the third period. Dan needs to get a shorty if he can. Dmitry Kristich doesn't have much room to go. Doesn't really have anyone to pass to. He's still just skating around with it. Still can't find anyone, and eventually he loses it. Good play there. The defensive specialist, Matt, as the Oilers take control of it. 1:40 to go. There's Matt trying to go in behind. Lost control of it there because he realized he couldn't go too far. Dan had cut him off. Now we get a face-off. 1:26 to go here. Here is Dan trying to come up the other way. Lost control of it. Now Matt brings it back to Doug Wade. Wade stops. Checks away. Who's going to pick it up now? Matt does. 50 seconds left. And here's a chance in front. Oh, nice save there. And Matt picks it up. Breakaway. Nice save again by Beaupre. 30 seconds to go. Dan needs to score, and he needs to score now. He tried to get it in the short corner, but he couldn't get it 10 seconds ago. This game is going to wind down, and Matt is going to take a series lead, 3-2. Dan says, what's this other music in the background? And he's laughing. I think that is, I'm hearing your feed in my headset.
Angry Jay said Guile
could be
music,
your,
so I put on the Guile theme from Street Fighter.
Oh.
I thought there was going to be a comeback here.
Okay.
Oh, the
I don't know what's going on.
15-4.
Jeez, 16-4. That was a dominating performance, but the score didn't really show it. Schmidt says that was Contra music or Double Dragon. I love both of those games. I think Double Dragon was probably more of my favorite game. I really never played Contra with the cheat code to beat it because I just didn't want to.
It was all turtles and time.
It was self-esteem issue. I just couldn't beat it without it. So I had to do the cheat code. Keep my self-esteem intact. Game 6. Wow, what a doozy. We are in Game 6 of this series in round 3. Not round 1, is what we were telling you for the first 4 games. Round 3, Dan finally corrected it. In this OPHL tournament. And this is Dan's tournament. So, you know what they always say, if you run your own tournament, you're not supposed to win it. So Dan's not allowed to win this game. I don't know how he won the first 2 series. Kind of cheating, if you ask me. But Dan gets on the board first. Chris just kind of gets a nice little play there. It's 1-0 for the Capitals. Here in Game 6. Trefo says 007. Oh, he's given us the Mike Tyson fight code. We want the fight code. Yeah, I could never beat Tyson. I had a friend of mine who was pretty good at it. Could beat Tyson, but I could never beat Tyson. Dan says, well, one day when I win OHPL, then I am not allowed back in. So it is okay to win my own tourney. Okay, fair enough, Dan. I will accept that as an answer. That you're not allowed back in. Oh, what a nice one-timer there. You cut across, take the cross crease cheese, and nice back pass, one-timer to make it 2-0 for the Capitals here. And the Northlands Coliseum, as they are up 2-0 on the Edmonton Oilers, and Matt now needs to try and find a way to get a goal and get himself back into the game. Kingdom94 says, that's actually not me, so that must be Smaz typing that in. Tyson versus Joan Jr. exhibition fight, November 28th. They are both in their 50s. Awesome. Awesome. I can't wait to watch. Dan says sick. I don't know if it's because of the fight or because of the play that happened that I clearly missed the timing of it. And Schmidt says, see what happens when you don't use those pass shots? I don't know what he's referring to there, so clearly I missed that part. If you want to explain it, you can. 2-0 here as the first period is winding down, and the Capitals have the lead, trying to force a Game 7. I want to welcome, I'm going to say Alucard, 424. It's either Alucard or Alucard or Alucard. He says, I miss this game. I miss this so much. I don't know if he's talking about the game itself or if he played online, but welcome. Good to have you in there. Dan with it now, with Kristich. Loses it, and Matt has it with Shane Corson. Pass across the front. Nice play by Dan to get the control of the goalie and come out and stop that play. Dan with it now, with Kristich. Back the other way. Kristich puts it around the boards, but there's no one there, and Bonder has to come all the way back to his own end zone and start again. He cuts right in. Nice pass shot there, and nice save again by, pardon me, Bill Ranford, to keep it at 2-0. Oh, close play there by Dan. He tried for the backhander, and I think it was the defenseman that stopped that from going in to keep it a 2-0 game. We might have a penalty coming up here. Yeah, and of course it is. Public enemy number 1, Calle Johansson, going to the box because that's what he has been doing all series. Matt's chance to take advantage of that 1-minute power play. He's got Peter Klima. Klima loses it. Dan picks it up. He's got it with Kristich. Doing a little dipsy doodle in over the line. Still looking to try to cut for the net there. It almost looked like they were about to fight. But there was no fight. I wish that there would have been a fight. Here's Matt. Tried for the one-timer there. Went for the near side on that, and it just went wide of the net. So still 2-0. Here is Matt again. The pass didn't click there, and the Capitals just shoot it back down. So Matt's going to go out, pick it up with his goalie, give it to his winger, but he gets dumped. And there's one-timer coming. That one squeaked through. Oh, boy, Billy Ranford. He kicked out the pad, and he still couldn't stop it. Oh, boy, that's 3-0 here. And Schmitz is ball game. He's calling it right now in the second period. He thinks it's over. Dan says huge hit and one-timer. Oh, boy, 3-0. And kind of agree. This is all Dan, this game. There hasn't been a whole lot of There was, but I've noticed that there hasn't really been much back and forth this series. It's just one guy seems to jump out to big leads, and the other guy just gives up. That's all the series has been, which is very, very strange that these teams would do that to each other, that these guys do that to each other every single game. But the momentum is there for Dan right now. It's 4-0. Kristich with the hat trick, and this is probably all but just about over. Matt hasn't been able to do very much this game at all in terms of offense. And Dan has just been taking control of this game. He's still got it with Kristich. Matt has been sitting back there. And you know what? I think when you're down with 4-0, you really can't play back. You've got to try and go at him. Because otherwise, if I was Dan, I would have just skated on the outside and just waited there. I mean, when you're up by 4 or 5 goals, the other guy needs to come at you. I mean, you make the effort to go in their zone, but you don't need to cut towards the net and lose control of it. Why? That's how I see it anyways. You might agree with that. You might not agree with that, but I think if you're down by 4 or 5 goals, then you're going to try and force a play. So, because you got nothing to lose anyways. Who cares if they score and make it 5-0 or 6-0? Penalty coming up to Edmonton here with 3 minutes to go. And Schmidt says goal differential is the tiebreaker. Dan says definitely do not agree with Halifax. Got to keep playing, trying to score. So to clarify what I meant is if you have the puck and you do have the lead, I definitely agree that you can be in their zone, but you don't have, I don't think you necessarily have to force the play. I mean, you're winning the game. They need to force it on you. I don't agree with if you were sticking in your own zone and just holding on the puck. That I don't agree with. But if you're in their zone, I think it's open game to just kind of sit inside the blue line. They should be forcing the play on you and not just sitting in front of the net. So we disagree there. That's okay. 5-0 here for the Capitals. This game is just about over, just over a minute here in the game. And we are headed to the all-important Game 7. I had a feeling that we were going to Game 7 when Smaz told me from the beginning of the show that this was an hour-long file, so I kind of put the math together in my head and said, yeah, we're heading to Game 7. I didn't think that Dan would purposely record a sweep and then record a half an hour of nothing. So thank you, Dan, for sharing this series with us. It has been a treat. We are now heading to Game 7. And AJ says, Dan, are you going to play good this Game 7? So I think AJ is looking to make a bet here on Game 7 to see if he can, make a bet on the winner. So if Dan says, yeah.
Looking at Peter Klimo's Twitter, his little tagline is, why play the whole game when you can take care of business in the third OP? It's a reference to the 1990 Stanley Cup playoff, the first game against Boston in the finals. Third overtime. I think he was basically didn't play much that game. Everyone's tired. They threw him on. Third OT scored.
Dan says, let's see if I choke against hockey fans. So Dan might have to give me the reference.
So I don't know what season of this league, he lost to hockey. I'll look up the stats for
Okay, so the last time they did this tournament, he lost. He choked against. I got you. Alucard or Alucard, I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. He says Habs were great in this game. Are you telling me that the Habs beat the Flyers today? I don't think that they were playing, were they? Oh, no, sorry, never mind. He's talking about the game in the NHL 94. I was talking about the playoffs tonight. Because there's a game,
Calgary and Dallas. I think it's 3-0.
Maybe Montreal and Philadelphia, but I think that...
Calgary.
For who? 3-0 Calgary. Wow. And who won between the Islanders and Capitals? Okay. Gotcha. Well, if you recorded it, then don't spoil it for it, but I'm sure somebody will spoil it for it. Well, here we are in Game 7. It's 0-0. We've seen every single game kind of start out to be blowouts very quickly. And not much in terms of mounting comebacks for the most part. But we'll see what happens happens in this game. We're hoping for a nice Game 7 overtime. That would be great. Here is Matt. Matt skates in, tries to stop it there. Nice little poke check by Dan to knock the puck away and pick it back up for the Capitals. Here's the EA special. Couldn't get that one to work. Matt picks it up with the Oilers. Has it with Shane Corson. Working his way in. And nice play there by Dan as he came out with Beaupre. Cut down the angle and keep it a 0-0 game. Dan with Mike Riley. Shot on net. Couldn't get the rebound for that EA special. Still 0-0. Matt stopping. Trying to find a one-timer. Wasn't there. He's going around the net again. And he loses control of it. Nice defensive play by Dan. So he's got Kristich. Kristich circling around. Tries a one-timer, but good play by Matt there. He knocked down the forward, and he picked it up with a D-man. A couple chances here. There's another shot, and a sprawling save by Beaupre to gobble up the rebound with 34 seconds left here in the first period. Draw back, won by Matt, but he had to go all the way back into his end zone to pick up the puck. Here's the Oilers again, skating around with it. As Dan has it, just about 5 seconds left here, not much time to get a shot off. And it's a nice little hit there at the end as we head into the second period and no score. Alucard says, my brother always beat me with Montreal. Schmidt says, bench Corson and put in Kevin Todd. Oh, nice. And Dan's saying, woo, tight one. Dan's just, oh no! What happened there? That's a 1-0 goal. I think Dan took control of Beaupre and he skated out front. He was probably expecting a one-timer, and Matt kind of tricked him there, just shot it right into the corner. So nice play by Matt to score that one and make it 1-0. Goalie error. That's what they're saying on the chat feed. Oh, nice save by Dan as he sprawled across. He's back with a breakaway on the other side. Beaupre out another shot. Oh, good save by Bill Ranford. As still 1-0 here in Game 7. Now Matt with it, skating around. One-timer there to Klima. And that was right on the goaltender there. So easy save for Dan to make. Here's a play. It goes up to Bondra. He's in around the net. Bondra holding up, looking for a play out front. Still doesn't see it yet. Is it going to develop for him? One-timer scores! And it's 1-1. That is that goal that was almost right along the goal line. A nice one-timer play there. Chris just tucks it in. And we are at 1-1. It's halfway through the game here in Game 7 of this Round 3 matchup. What an amazing series this has been. Here is Matt with it. He's circling around with, he had a chance there. Klima, but lost it. Now Dan has it in the Oilers zone. Oilers picking up here with 1:45 to go. Here's Manson. Manson back the other way. Morrison circling around, trying to find a pass. Lost control of it there, and now it's out in the middle of the neutral zone there. Let's see who's going to pick it up in this time. Let's Dan. He cut it with the Capitals, and the play is now in behind the net. Here's Dan again. One-timer. Oh, nice save there by Ranford. He dives back and keeps it from going in. Wow, that is one. Keeps it at 1-1. Nice play there. 40 seconds to go here in the second period. Dan has it. There's a floater on net. Oilers pick it up as Matt comes back the other way. He gets dumped. 20 seconds to go here in the second period. Matt picks it up again, and it looks like time is going to wind down here. Maybe one more chance. No, didn't quite get there. 1-1 heading into the third period. And Dan says, Greg, huge save. Angry Jay says, what a save. Great Game 7. Everybody's into this. Here's Dan with Ridley. Puts it around behind the net. Nice play. One-timer. Oh, good play. But a nice save there by Ranford to keep it at a 1-1 game. 4:10 to go. Here's Matt. Oh, he tried for the one-timer that hit off Beaupre. That was a sure goal if it hadn't got through, but just hit off the end of his pad. Matt trying again with Klima. Again. Oh, nice play there by Beaupre. It's now 3:40 left. 1-1 tie. Here's Dan again with it, with coaching. Dan skating around the side. trying to find a pass. There is no one open for him. He is still skating around the blue line. Still has it with Cote. Going back and forth, and he ends up just giving it to Edmonton. 3 minutes to go here in Game 7, and now there's a penalty coming up against the Capitals if they can touch it here, but they didn't get control of it, and here comes Matt. Matt is going to try and see if he can take the lead with Wade, and then Capitals take control of it. 2:24 here. Big player's got to step up, says Dan. And Angry Jay says Callie's going to stand in the box. But you know what? It's a penalty here, and they are down by 1. Capitals back the other way. Here's a breakaway. Oh, nice save there by Ramsey. 2 minutes to go. Who is going to take this Game 7? Here is Matt. He's got it with Kravchuk there on D. Is he going to pass it off? No, he's skating right in towards the net. Going in around the net. Could there be a one-timer coming up? Across! He didn't go for it. He tried to take him out there. 1:30 to go. We thought the one-timer was coming, but it didn't happen. Here is Dan. The one-timer scores! 1:12 to go. Wandera has taken the lead with 1:12 remaining. The Capitals are up 2-1 in Game 7. Here comes Matt. Needs to tie it with Doug Wade. Matt skating around, still has it. Matt trying to get that second goal if he can. He loses it in behind the net. Dan picks it up 40 seconds to go here. Dan is going to skate it out. He puts it in around the net. He's going to pick it up on the other side. No. Comes back the other way for the Oilers. Here's their chance to tie the game. Here's Corson. Corson has it. Is he going to pass it across? Oh, the save out in front. Oh, that was it. The game saver there by O'Brien. And the Capitals win here in Game 7 in round 3 of this tournament. What a finish it was as Dan pulls off the victory in Game 7. He was down 3-2 in the series, wins Game 6, and then comes back and wins Game 7 in a very tight game. Congratulations to Dan. He's moving on to the next round. He says, woo, scraped by the skin of my teeth. Good series, son of bet. Angry Jay calls it a monumental win. Good game, Dan, says Alucard 424. It was a good game. It was a good series. Oh, I love these highlights here. Here's the Anaheim New York Rangers highlight. Rangers win 4-2. Of course, Mike Gardner gets the winner there. Smoz, I want your special analysis from this series. I mean, what about it that you liked other than that exciting finish that just happened?
Interesting that typically each game seemed to be a blowout. Except the last one was pretty close. Games for blowouts. We saw Dan trying a lot of different things. So he tried a lot of EA specials. He scored that one pass shot on the short side. Sonoffett's famous zone defense. Saw a lot of that. Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I found that both guys are pretty good at clogging up the middle of the zone there on D. Good job, guys.
So at the end, Dan kind of gave him some space to go for the walk across goal, the crease cut. And then with Vondra, just cut him off by skating towards the goal. So that was kind of interesting.
Well, good win, Dan. Thanks for sharing that series with us, bud. And so, Dan, maybe you can tell us who you're playing in next round. Is round 4 the final, or is there another round after?
I think he's going to be playing.
I don't know if Dan is still in the chat, but if
winner
he is,
between Tickenist.
Can you actually? Do you have a Shalon's bracket you can throw up?
They got this Western Conference and Eastern Conference, and I think they're missing the latest round. So Dan beat Tess, we saw earlier in the previous round. Sonoffett beat DC Icon. And so the other part of the bracket is Tickenist beat AE Perniet. And the winner of that one plays the winner of Scribe and Thrill House. And then the winner of that play Dan. If I understand this correctly. Because I see 2 different third seeds. I wouldn't understand this. I guess there's a Eastern Conference and a Western Conference, and they meet in the middle.
Nice. Well,
It's great having you.
Sloss, thanks for having me on the stream tonight. It was a pleasure. I
Yeah,
appreciate it. And Dan, thanks for sharing that. For Trefo says this is what you get when you let Dan run a league. Confusion. Oh.
I guess they're seated
He's
per
just bugging you,
conference.
man.
I wasn't understanding that. Yeah, so I think I kind of like the setup where we try to do a Sega game at 9, and then you can hop on for hopefully Super Nintendo at 10. Couldn't really get a game this week, but maybe next week. We lost a week, so we lost a bit of momentum. Maybe people weren't.
Well, you know what? The Classic League ends this Sunday,
true.
so we'll have some playoff series setting up next week. And Schmidt says never show SNES. Oh, come on! You're too much hate in your body there. But yeah, playoffs next week. I am literally hanging by a thread. If Fed and Miller Time play the rest of their games, then
I'll go find out which is that the A League or A West?
Play those games. So that is the A League West. Yeah. So the Super Nintendo A Leagues, West and East, have been. There is a lot of really good players in both leagues, and some good playoff races happening right now too. So pretty good in that area there. The B League in Super Nintendo, I know as well. There's a tight playoff race for the last couple spots there, and in the C League in Super Nintendo. I know that for the most part, the top 7 were set, and the bottom 5 guys were battling it out for one spot. But I think Badass 94 is taking control of that one too. So we'll see how it finishes. And Sega, I think for the most part, Gens A is mostly set. I think there might be a couple of. I know Pistol Pete was trying to make
if Perennial Choker were to win his final 4 games, he could make it in.
Yeah. Perennial Choker, who also goes by Cam Neely, who also goes by Vocally Cage. So
he just forgot his password so many times, just made new accounts.
So, yeah. B League West, B League East. I know that same thing. We had to replace a few guys here just in the last little bit so that people could try and finish out their seasons. But for the most part, the B League East is mostly set. I mean, Tyler Graven, he's 24-7, but he still needs to play 9 more games, so hopefully he'll still make it there. And sonoffett, he should make it again, but those guys need to make sure that they play their games and kind of finish out the season. So probably mostly against Detroit and St. Louis. The B West and Sega has. Well, DC Con is kind of running away with it with Detroit. He's 33-4. I know that there's been a lot of chatter about that he should have been playing in the A League, but he wanted to be in the B League. And when I had set up the divisions near the beginning of the year and asked for some feedback, nobody actually commented on him needing to be in A. So left him in there, and he ended up getting the first pick, I think. In our random draw, which I think it was first pick or maybe first couple picks. I don't remember, but he took Detroit and he's doing really well with them. So, and then NIU Husky in Chicago, him and Leif Erickson tied for first place, but I think goals differential should mean that Leif would take first spot there, unless it was head to head. So. Angry Jay says, let DCK Con play where he wants. He just got a fortunate draw with Detroit is all. I agree. I agree that to me, I don't really care about, where guys play and whatever. They play where they want to play.
I think if you're playing Battle League, you should try to take a lower team. Like I know, so I won the B League once, and Raph was actually playing with Tampa Bay in the final. That was Toronto. That's one of stop playing
Yeah.
for a while.
Well, the thing is like, I mean, better players can do that if they want to, but uh, because people get replaced throughout the season, the makeup of the season never stays the same. So I mean, while we try to replace a guy with the same skill level, it doesn't always happen, and then that can totally throw out the balance of the league, anyways. So I think the most part is just trying to get the same skill level guys into a league. I mean, you look at Super Nintendo last year or the last league. People don't even know this because most guys are new in the league, but there were 12 guys in it. And so you had Bob Kudelski and Angry Jay and Anatar playing in the same league as AAA and Kaba, who were playing in the C League this year. So, and those guys played
They
their
also have the
games,
two
and I
best
don't think
teams.
anybody really
There
complained.
was a complaint that I remember.
Yeah, obviously there was a lot of blowouts, but so to me it's all fun. I went 16-24 this year, and probably won't make it, but that's okay. I had fun doing it. Had a pretty good team in Detroit, so. And Gen C, the last one here that we haven't talked about yet. Looks like about almost half the league has played their full 40 games. Lots of guys up around 38 games. We replaced Edmonton here this morning so that we can help people finish out the rest of their series there. But I think for the most part there, most of the playoffs are already set up. So Schmidt says, yeah, he probably should have played with a lower team. I mean, again, I can't blame somebody for picking a better team if they want to. I know that when I think Tick and Est had the first pick for the East, and he just picked Philadelphia, even though he probably could have picked a much better team, but he didn't, and still ended up doing pretty good. I mean, he was 27-13, and so if he had Detroit or Chicago or Montreal or whatever, sure he would have been a lot better. But and Schmidt says, throw out all the keyboard guys. I don't know who all the keyboard players are. You guys probably know who they are, but like on the Super Nintendo side, I think Tick and Est is a keyboard player. I'm not sure. There used to be. I know that Super Nintendo we had a couple players in past years that used keyboard, and they did really well. I feel like there is an advantage using keyboard. That's just me. I don't really have any proof of it, but I feel like that they can make guys, move past a little bit better, more efficiently. That's me based on absolutely no proof of that whatsoever. But that's just how I feel about that. Schmidt says, yeah, definitely advantage can move better. I agree with you. I think that there is. If you asked me to prove it, I couldn't do it. I don't have the technical knowledge of the response time from a keyboard and a controller. But that's why I always like playing in the live tournaments, because it's equal playing there. Everybody's using the same equipment, and there really isn't. Nobody really has any kind of advantage in any way. So. So then it really just comes down to how the format and fairness of that is broken down. But the players themselves don't really have an advantage because we don't allow for turbo on draws or anything like that. No turbo can be used, at least not in the tournaments I run anyways. I don't know about the other ones. But and again, I don't even with turbo online, I don't know how many guys use it to try and win face-offs. I don't have a turbo controller, but I'm sure that there's probably some guys that do.
Sure,
maybe
works,
that makes a difference.
no one's really ever run away with the face-off lead, face-off percentage.
Schmidt says it's in the latest NHL 94 magazine right now. Do you get the subscription? Turbo, safety's always off. That was AJ. Yeah, exactly. So I can't wait till we have another live tournament again. I think we're a long ways away. I know for myself, I'm probably a year away before I'll be able to participate in one. Mostly because my situation is different. My wife is very high risk for COVID, and if she gets it, it won't be good at all. So I pretty much don't do much going out whatsoever. It's just usually just walks and outside the stuff. So I mean, meeting in venues is not on not on my future, at least for a while, until
Yeah, I
this
think it's a
is
great idea
we
to
feel
get
a
a lot
lot
of
better
people
about
in a
things.
room sharing controllers. It's a really spacious place.
Well, I mean, everyone has a different view on it. I mean, I'm not going to judge anybody's opinion on what they do or don't do. I just know for myself, it won't be. Schmidt says my turbo doesn't work versus AJ because his connection is always laggy. I played AJ actually in Super Nintendo. I wasn't laggy at all. So maybe it's just when you guys play. I'm not sure, but when I played him, it was we played our matches and had some luck against AJ this year for once after losing I think my last 8 against them. But got some luck this time. Didn't matter in the end because what's AJ? Where are you at in Super Nintendo? I think you're like 29 and 10. Oh, 24 and 12. Still really, really good. Hallie crushed me. I didn't crush it. They're 1-goal wins. 1-goal wins. So, well, someday Schmidt will join the Super Nintendo side. That will be a lot of fun. You know, it'll be sort of a day of reckoning. It'll be a day of just something wonderful when he finally comes over and plays with us and sees how much fun it is when you play in a league and there's so many competitors that make games close. And he said, I just need a SNES controller. Well, hopefully you will someday. I want to play in the Sega leagues. The problem is just it's this the Mac.
Something I see is
Doesn't work very well with the
Stantinator
Sega side of things. So.
in the Super Nintendo A West 25 and 14. So he did well in the King 94, and he's managed to bring that over onto online play. Still,
you know, the first time he played was in the Vancouver tournament in the King of '94, the third one, and I played him in the playoffs. It's kind of funny because I thought, I'll play this guy, I'll beat him, and then I'll move on to play Anatar in the next round. And sure enough, I lost both games. I think he beat me like 4-2 and 5-3. And that's when I knew how good he was. And he did even better in Toronto. He made it to the top 8 in that one. So he made it to the top 16 in Vancouver and made it to the top 8 or top 6.
yeah, he did well even though
he really
played in
good.
both
So.
Sega.
He loves it. He loves coming to the King of '94 tournaments. So, but who knows when the next one will be? But I know for myself that as soon as the green light that it's actually I feel safe enough to go and be part of a thing without having to quarantine when I come home or be there, then we'll definitely plan for the next live tournament. I mean, we're going to do our online one here this fall. Which I need you to kind of get rolling on here. I've been thinking about all the things that I want to do for it and introduce a couple different tournaments for it, make it a little bit more fun, just not the normal tournament that we're going to do. So I have a couple more things planned for that. And I think that one will be fun as well. So, and then we'll kick off a classic league in the wintertime. I think something to kind of keep it going. So, but it seems like for the most part, there's always a second league going on. And AAA has been literally running leagues back to back in Super Nintendo, so that's been good. Hopefully those guys don't get burnout and stop. So which can happen. Schmidt says I need more than 3 buttons because I have no defense control on Sega. Yeah, I think there was somebody else that had said that too. I think it might have been Pistol Pete that I think he uses a Sega controller. It was either him or NHL 94 OG. One of them does. And then they were playing this in the Super Nintendo League as well, and didn't know about the defense control as part of that. So I don't even know how they're even to be able to use the goalies. I guess I don't even know how that would even work with a Sega controller if it was a 3-button one. But it says hit start to access the other 3 buttons like in Street Fighter. The goalie you can get, but you can't make save animations. Okay, so I think what Schmidt's telling me that if you have the Sega controller and you're playing Super Nintendo, you can take control of them. You just can't really do anything else other than skate around with them. That's what I'm taking from that. So But, yeah. Unless you had the 6-button controller, then you could at least do the animation states. But so it's basically you play basically you play Go like danTML does normally. Yeah, that's fun. Well, Smaz, any parting words? I know it's late for you. Jeez, it's almost closing in on midnight.
Maybe if you're free next week, get you on again.
Yeah. I try and be free. I mean, it's evenings is usually the time I spend with my kids. They just have to be doing something else tonight, so that was nice able to do this. So I'll try and squeeze it in next Thursday too, and we'll have some more fun for a couple hours. Yeah. AJ, Schmidt, Tess, thanks for sticking around for all of this. So, and it's fun watching you play earlier, Tess. Good win, buddy. Nice sweeper. You got her done. Just gave her, bud. You freaking gave her and got her done, bud. All right. Have a good night. I'm out. Love you, Smaz. Love you, bud. Talk to you soon.